Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with the Spain News Update. We'll take a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press here in Spain, and we'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers. Before I begin, a huge thanks to all of the people that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's by buying me a coffee, whether it's through the super thanks option on YouTube, longer term supporters on Patreon, and the channel members of this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for that support. Now, straight into the news. And the central government has come to the aid of the Canary Islands government, who, as we know, are dealing with a migrant crisis currently. Tens of thousands of migrants from African countries have arrived in the Canary Islands over the last year or so. And Defense Minister Robles has offered military facilities in the Canary Islands to shelter unaccompanied youths. Defense Minister Margarita Robles has offered the Canary Islands government two unused military facilities to help accommodate unaccompanied migrant minors arriving on the islands, with the possibility of providing additional facilities if necessary. This measure comes in response to the migration crisis facing the archipelago, and as highlighted by Canary Islands President Fernando Clavijo, Robles has been the only representative of the central government to contact his administration directly to address the situation. Clavijo made the announcement during an event in Galda, where he expressed his gratitude to the minister for her support and for understanding that the Canary Islands cannot manage the increasing migratory pressure alone. He also shared Robles' stance on the need to distribute the minors across the national territory to ease the burden on the islands. The offer includes the former Tabares ammunition depot, owned by the army, and the San Francisco artillery barracks, both located in Tenerife. So there we go, Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles stepping up and offering a short-term solution, I believe, to this migration crisis: the use of military facilities to house these unaccompanied minors. So we'll see if this takes a bit of pressure off the Canary Islands government. Second piece of news now, and bad news for the e-scooter industry in the capital city Madrid, because the Madrid mayor has put an end to electric scooters in the city. Our priority is physical integrity and safety, he says. The end of electric scooters in Madrid is approaching. The mayor of the capital, José Luis Martínez Almeida, has announced that the city council's priority is the physical integrity and safety of Madrid residents. Therefore, all electric scooter rental companies will be expelled from the city. The three companies currently operating in Madrid will cease to do so by October. With Almeida's announcement, Madrid bids farewell to over 6,000 vehicles due to failure to meet the safety conditions established in the authorization agreements. We are revoking the authorization for the scooter concession companies in the city's streets. They have not complied with conditions we imposed to guarantee pedestrian safety, particularly for our elderly. The revocation will be fully effective in October, the Madrid mayor wrote on his X account. So there we go. As of October, no more of these pesky hire e-scooters on the streets of Madrid. People that own an e-scooter will still be able to use it and ride it around Madrid, but you won't be able to hire them anymore. So a huge blow, no doubt, to companies like Lime. And the final piece of news today, and an interesting article as far as national tourism here in Spain is concerned, and it is that Spaniards visited Asturias more than Malaga this July. The decline in national tourism in Malaga has been a trend this summer, a concern that the Association of Hotel Entrepreneurs of the Costa del Sol hinted at last summer, and which the National Statistics Institute has now confirmed. During the month of July, the latest available figures, around 90,000 fewer Spanish tourists visited the province compared to the same month last year. The drop is so significant that Malaga has fallen a rank in the list of provinces preferred by Spanish tourists, with Asturias moving up. Despite also experiencing a decline in Spanish visitors, the northern province registered 1,000 more national tourists than Malaga this July. This marks a milestone as Asturias surpasses Malaga in the number of national visitors for the first time since statistics have been recorded. Madrid, Alicante, Tarragona, Barcelona, Girona and Cádiz complete the ranking, all of which saw year-on-year declines except for the capital, but none as steep as Malaga, both in absolute and relative terms. So there we go, an interesting statistic there, that Malaga not receiving as many national tourists as it has done in the past, people choosing to go to other destinations in Spain, and more locals choosing to spend their holidays in Asturias in the north of the country than in the south in places like the Costa del Sol. And one of the reasons, no doubt, for this is that it just gets too hot in the province of Malaga during the month of July, and people want a cooler change. Now let's take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel recently. One here from The Real: grandparents being Spanish citizens does grant you the right to apply for it yourself. Yeah, The Real, thanks for the comment, and this is a topic that popped up in yesterday's live stream because we saw a comment from somebody in Miami, I think it was, who is currently applying for Spanish citizenship because their grandparents were Spanish, and they said that it's taking a little bit long for their liking. And then somebody in the live chat section said that they doubted you could get Spanish citizenship because your grandparents were Spanish. Perhaps if your parents were Spanish you could get it, but not your grandparents. And of course The Real saying that it is the case that you can apply for Spanish citizenship if your grandparents were Spanish. Sounds complicated, but I hope you've managed to understand what I've just said. One here from Teddy: as an African American who lived in Spain, I can assure you that there is a lot of racism against black people. For many people who want to continue racial abuse, they think that telling people to go elsewhere is the solution. Why don't they try to be non-racist people? European values. Yeah, Teddy, thanks for the comment. And another topic that we have been discussing on the channel in recent times, the topic of racism here in Spain. As we know, football player Vinicius Jr., who plays for Real Madrid, has called out racism here in Spain on numerous occasions, and he did so again the other day. He said that if Spain doesn't sort its racism issues out, it shouldn't be allowed to host the World Cup in 2030, and that sparked off a huge debate here in Spain. And as usual, Spanish society is divided, with half the population saying yes, maybe we are a little bit racist, and the other half saying no, that is not the case, and if Vinicius Jr. doesn't like Spain, he should go somewhere else. And I think Teddy's right. A lot of people here in Spain need to look at themselves, deal with this issue, rather than trying to fob it off by saying that there's no problem here, move on. One here from Trevor: my experience of obtaining a residence permit in Spain. A third world citizen, UK, married to a Spanish lady for 38 years, moving from another EU country, Portugal, with a valid residency permit from Lisbon since 2004. According to EU rules, Spanish residency is almost automatically granted. Try waiting 364 days from the 3rd of the 2nd, 2022 to the 2nd of the 2nd, 2023. Bonkers. Yeah, Trevor, thanks for the comment, and a good word used there to sum up that situation: bonkers. Incredible that you would have to wait 1 year to get your residency sorted out here in Spain coming from Portugal. Because as Trevor points out in that comment, and I believe it to be true, that when you reside legally in one European Union country for a certain period of time, I think 10 years is the minimum, if you move to another EU country, you're automatically granted residency. So why it took so long, I've got absolutely no idea. One here from Marcus: I've heard that gestorías log on to the extranjería web pages first thing in the morning and snap up all the appointments. I'm so glad I've been granted Spanish citizenship and never have to go back to an extranjería office again. Yeah, Marcus, thanks for the comment, and you could be right that the gestorías here in Spain, or the middlemen, snap up all of the appointments so that you have to go through them in order to get your residency sorted out. I had the experience of trying to get one of these appointments a couple of months ago, and it was not easy. I decided to do it myself because it seemed easy, and I was sick and tired of having to pay these middlemen to get these things done. And when I sat down with the police officer for my appointment, the first thing she said to me was, "Did you go through a gestoría to get this appointment, or did you get it yourself?" I said I got it myself, and she said, "Wow, that must have been difficult." I said it wasn't easy. I just kept on trying and trying until I got an appointment that suited me. So my advice for anybody renewing their residency here in Spain is do it yourself. Don't go through a gestor, get your own appointment and save yourself some money, because it can be done. You just have to be persistent. One here from Outdoor Chilled: it is very easy to get more long-term rental housing on the market. Delete and erase the ridiculous rights for ocupas, and property owners will not be afraid to rent long-term. Yeah, Outdoor Chilled, thanks for the comment, and it seems like a very easy way to improve the long-term rental market in this country. Give more rights to landlords and less rights to the squatters. So why isn't it being done? I can hear a lot of people asking. Well, talk to the current government. They're the ones that recently came up with a new housing law, and according to experts in the sector, it's one of the reasons why people are taking their properties off the long-term rental market. And for things to change related to housing here in Spain, we're probably going to have to wait for a new government. And the final comment here from Paul: how blind are you to think the electric car is a good thing? Not realizing the electric car market is a con is so naive and ignorant. Stop with your inaccuracies, man. Yeah, Paul, thanks for the comment, but unfortunately, I've got no idea what you were talking about. I don't think I've ever said that electric vehicles are a good thing, and I don't think I've ever said that electric vehicles are a bad thing. And I can just imagine you, Paul, back in the day when the combustion engine arrived on the scene, you probably went onto the internet and said something like, "I'll never sell my horse." On that note, I'll wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, please, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.